Welcome back to Season 3 of Real Talk and Whatnot. My name is Micah Diele, and if you're new here, this is a show where I highlight the talented individuals that live within the Central Valley of California, as well as people in general who are passionate about what they do. Now, before we get into today's sponsors, we're going to talk about the way that the show kind of is. So generally, the show starts off with a few ad reads, then it goes to the intro of the podcast. If there is a performance, the performance will follow that, and then the podcast will begin. So just giving you guys the lay of the land here at Real Talk Studios, and then also the way that the seasons are going to go on from now on. So last year was the first year, so we're a little all over the place, but the way that it's going to go on from now on, it's from February to June. We're going to have one episode every single week, and that will be Season 3, and then from August to the end of the year will be Season 4. So just kind of giving you the lay of the land, how we do things here at Real Talk Studios. Now let's get into today's sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by Marcus Rodriguez. If you're looking to buy or sell your home in this competitive market and you're not too sure where to start, look no further than Merced's preferred realtor, Marcus Rodriguez. He will make the transition go as easy as possible, and you can reach him at 209-554-1715. Again, that's 209-554-1715. Visit his website, www.myagentmarcus.com, or email him at info@myagentmarcus.com. This podcast is also brought to you by Duffy.murphy. Whether you need studio time, mixing and mastering services, or someone to clean up your podcast audio, he's your guy. And trust me, because he's my guy. Now, you can get a hold of Duffy by emailing him. His email is duffy.murphy@yahoo.com. Once again, that's duffy.murphy@yahoo.com. Or you can find him on Instagram. That's @DuffyMurphy. This podcast is brought to you by Thore. If you're in the Central Valley area, and you're looking to get a tattoo, look no further than this dude right here. He's a versatile artist that specializes in black and gray realism. He's located in Merced at the Merced Tattoo and Piercing Company, and if you'd like to get in contact with him, the easiest way to reach out to him is through Instagram or stopping by the shop. So his Instagram is @_Thore with 5 E's, so that's @_THOREEEE. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in to Real Talk and Whatnot, a Central Valley podcast. I am your host, Micah Diele, and I'm a filmmaker and photographer based out of the Central Valley of California. If anybody out there needs any wedding films, commercial work, photography work, real estate videos, real estate pictures, music videos, anything in between, let me know. I'm your guy. You guys can contact me at 209-769-4596. Once again, that's 209-769-4596. Email me at micahdiele@gmail.com, micahdiele@gmail.com, or find me on Instagram if you want to check out the show, see all the promos and everything else. It's micah.diele. That's MICAH.DIELE. And before we get into the intro, you guys, we're going to do this little segment. I don't know what it is. It's going to be me basically complaining about something or laughing about something. And I don't know what to call it. Maybe Micah's Mind of Micah. That's definitely a ripoff of Mind of Mancia, but he ripped off other people's jokes, so I guess I could do that. Anyways, we're just going to see this little bit that I made up. And so, I don't know. Listen to me. Do whatever I'm going to do. What we do need to talk about is this movie called Ambulance, you guys. So basically it starts off, Jake Gyllenhaal's best friend. His best friend comes back from the military. He's like, I need to get money. Gyllenhaal's like, I can't believe the army wouldn't pay for this. I need $213,000. How about we get more? Michael Bay directed this movie. The movie goes on, and they go on their heist, and of course, shit goes bad, obviously. They're like, don't shoot a cop. What happens? They shoot a cop. The cop ends up in an ambulance, but guess who else ends up in the ambulance? Jake Gyllenhaal and his best friend. They get into the ambulance. The girl's like, I'm not leaving this cop. And they're like, well, then you're coming with us. So from that point on, they're in this ambulance, and there's some weird sexual tension between Jake Gyllenhaal and this girl, and she's just like, you think you're so tough with that gun, don't you? Gyllenhaal pushes her, and his friend just keeps looking back like, hey, don't do anything. I'm like, hey, you guys are already shot a cop, and you're already running from the police. What outcome do you think this is going to be? Gyllenhaal is out the passenger side with the freaking AK, just shooting at these police helicopters, and then the camera goes to the sky, and it just says, ambulance. That's so fucking stupid. And we're back. Thanks for tuning in to Real Talk and Whatnot. I'm your host, Micah Diele, and if you're new to this podcast, this is a show where I highlight the talented individuals that live within the Central Valley of California, as well as people in general who are passionate about what they do. Now, if you want to keep up with the show and see it as many ways as you can, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, the first thing you guys can do. So type in Real Talk Studios, type in Micah Diele, MICAH.DIELE, and make sure you are subscribed to Real Talk Studios. That is my YouTube where I post, all these podcasts, where I post the performances, and where I post most of my professional work as well. So make sure you follow me there. And then if you guys also want to see all the promos for this stuff, you can find me on Facebook. Just type in Micah Diele or Real Talk and whatnot. That'll come up. Or follow me on Instagram, Micah.Diele. That's MICAH.DIELE. I'm definitely most active on Instagram. So if you guys want to reach out to me there, talk to me. If you're interested in coming on the show, you can go to my website, MicahDiele.com. But just really happy to be back in the studio. Really happy to be recording these intros again. So let's just get into today's episode. So in this episode, I'm joined by Thore Green. Now, Thore is born and raised in Fresno, California, and he is actually an author of a book called Against All Odds, where he talks about his trials and tribulations throughout his life. And it's just a great book, you guys. It's a small little book. It's I think it's about 50 pages, and it's just a testimony to his life. And I can't recommend it enough. It's called Against All Odds by Thore Green, and I definitely recommend that you guys go check that book out. It's such an amazing book, and we talk about everything in his book on the podcast today. So if you don't want to read it, don't worry. We talk about everything as well. So it's a great conversation. And Thore is also a social media comedian. He is an influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call it. He makes these great, funny videos. And so Thore has over 2 million fans on Facebook, over 400,000 fans on Instagram, and his TikTok keeps getting deleted. So come on, TikTok, stop deleting people's shit. But it was a great conversation, and it just we relate a lot. We both make videos differently, but it's just cool to meet someone and figure out what drives him. And it's so cool because somebody who had all these hardships in their life still grew up to be able to make all these other people laugh. And it's just a great to see that he has used his struggles and his trials and tribulations, and he has turned them into a positive light that impact other people. And so I can't recommend his book enough, you guys. It's called Against All Odds by Thore Green, and I'm just so excited for you guys to hear this podcast. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Thore Green. This is it. Real talk. Whatnot.
Real talk. That's it. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk.
Cheers. Thank you for being here, man.
Yes, sir.
And so, why don't you introduce yourself so for people who may not know who you are, Thore?
My name is Thore Green. I'm a content creator, influencer, and also a published book author.
Mm-hmm. And then how did you kind of like get into all this?
Well, it started in the Vine era.
Oh, dude, I love Vine.
I forgot what year it was. What year was that?
2011, 12?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I was coming out of high school, but everybody was making them.
What year did you graduate?
2012.
Okay, I was 2011, we're right
so
there.
I think they got rid of it in 2013
Mm-hmm.
when I got on board, and I was like, man, I got to do something else. So I started making Facebook videos and Instagram videos,
Mm-hmm.
and then my Facebook video that I created went viral. New Year's Day.
What video was that? Was it like a reaction?
A reaction video with some girl that used to like clap her thighs.
Oh,
I think her name is Charlotte. Shout out to her.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Without her, who knows where we'd be?
All my friends went out on New Year's, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna stay in. Like, I'm gonna start my year off how I wanted to. You feel in. So I stayed home, made the video, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna post it 11 o'clock in the morning. January 1st. And I did it, and it went viral. So it was like strategic.
And what year was that again, sorry?
2014.
14? And you originally made it for Vine first?
No, Vine, they got rid of Vine.
Oh, but you were kind of messing with Vine?
That's when I started on Vine. I was messing with Vine. Like, that's how.
Vine was weird because it was like, remember you like had to record like on the app.
Yeah.
And then you hold it, then let go.
Let go.
Hold it, then let go.
So it was pretty like, that's when my editing skills started. Like,
that kind of got you into it?
It was kind of crappy. It was crappy at first, but me being me, I'm like, hey, I got to get better at my editing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was able to upload and edit, it was better.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And so they kind of started with that, and then you kind of got a little buzz. And you said, so when your first video went viral, like how many views was that? And then when?
Millions.
Millions?
Yeah, it was in the millions to the point where like I check my inbox every day. Like people from like different countries, they'd be like, oh, I love your content.
Really?
I love you. And like it went crazy from there. That's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep this up. I just don't want to be viral off one video.
Were you like always like growing up? Were you like funny and stuff, or like, you know what I mean?
Class clown, like getting in trouble, but I always been quiet too though. I'm quiet, but like when I get comfortable, like that's when
you're reserved, but then you open up. Yeah. That's kind of cool. And then so you started with Facebook, transitioned over to Instagram first.
I had both of them at the same time, but Instagram, like, it was slow. And Facebook was faster.
Yeah, you got a
right
fan
now,
base
like I got a fan base on Facebook. Like right now, I got 2 million on Facebook.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah, half had like 400,000 on Instagram. So
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Instagram's starting to pick up because like Snoop Dogg shared my post like
Oh, really?
3 times.
Which one was Uncle Earl or?
No, Earl knew Snoop Dogg shared my post like 2 years ago. So
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, so I got a lot of NFL players, famous people following me
That's sick.
after that.
Dude, that's fucking dope. And then, so speaking of Uncle Earl, when was he born? Because I feel like he's quite popular on your page, you know?
Earl was born last year.
Last year?
That character was born last year, but he's born in like the 50s probably.
Yeah. And then how did you kind of think of Uncle Earl? It just came to you one day, or?
I was doing a TikTok with, Ike Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah, his character and Tina Turner, I was just doing the TikTok and I had his wig on and I, had to acting like him, like he was on coke or whatever. And I posted it and people was loving it and I was like, man, let me throw this wig on one time and act like a character.
Yeah.
And then I did it and they was loving it, so I just kept it going from there.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I really like his. His are pretty funny. The package stealing one was pretty funny. And then you posted one the other day, and I think I laughed pretty hard at that one. It was like you walked in and the cat was going crazy. And then,
Earl?
Yeah.
Or just a reaction?
I think it was just a reaction.
Okay, yeah.
You walked in, the cat was
sitting.
going crazy, then you looked over there, and there was another reaction going on, and you go outside, and I forget what's going on.
I made that the other day.
Yeah,
I went outside, the kid was holding the cat.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's my homeboy kid. I was like,
really?
bro, let me get this video.
Really? That's hella funny. Because I was actually thinking that, because I was like, I don't know, because obviously some of them could just be obviously snagged off the internet anywhere.
Most of them is.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like you're reacting to the...
Some people like volunteer, like, hey, can you post this? Sometimes if they're good enough, I'll do it.
And then, if it goes with whatever
my friend, he posted that video on his story. I was like, bro, can I use it, please? 'Cause your son is crazy. He's holding the cat like this and dropped him.
That's funny. And then I feel like you're saying, Instagram's kind of catching up to Facebook. Yeah. And I think it's almost like I feel like because of Reels, or Reels are really like what's going on. And so since Reels have come around, have you started using those more? Just because it's kind of, I feel like it gets your stuff seen a little more than a post.
Yeah, definitely. Facebook actually bought Instagram, so that's probably why like it's catching on.
Yeah,
like everything's the same. But Reels, they offering content creators money to create Reels. Like they'll tell you something like, "What's today's date?"
Today is the 22nd or
22nd. Okay, they'll be like, "Okay, today the 22nd. You got till January 22nd to get 1.9 million views on all your
stuff.
Reels. Not just one reel, but you could post heck of reels, and if you get 1 million views on all those combined, you'll make like let's say
X amount."
And
they kind of
they said like $1,000, and I got they offered me $1,000 to make 1.9 million views, and I got that in like a couple of days.
I was gonna say most of your stuff has at least 500,000.
Yeah, I'm like, can y'all like give me a bigger price?
Yeah, can I like? Yeah,
Facebook was offering 35,000 for reels to get a certain amount, and Instagram 1,000. So I'm like.
Well, have you tried YouTube Reels yet? You know how YouTube...
They got Reels on YouTube?
Dude,
I need to catch up on YouTube.
Dude, your stuff, and I don't know
But it's like people posting my videos on YouTube is like, when I post videos, they don't get as much views as theirs because they don't think I'm the real Terrell. That sucks.
Oh, yeah. No, dude, I bet you anything, because so they have this, I can just show you honestly right now. And I've only seen it on the app. I have no idea how it works.
I never knew that.
But yeah, it's actually pretty, because I was actually thinking that, because I saw that you're YouTube, but it's obviously like, it's short form content. So obviously like your stuff does a little better on Facebook, Instagram, you know what I mean? But if you just press short, it's called Shorts.
Short, oh.
And so it's
Do they get paid for that too?
Yeah, dude, well, it goes as a normal post on your YouTube.
Oh, see, yes.
And so I wonder if I don't know if the views are different.
My God, thank you.
Hey, dude, I got you. And think about all the videos you haven't, or you could just repost them as Reels.
Right. I'm about to do that right now when we get done.
Yeah, you're like, your view count on YouTube about to fucking go up, man.
Oh, man.
I got you,
Thank
bro.
you, 'cause my videos are like short. The most they'd be is a minute.
And that's the thing about the shorts on YouTube is it has to be under a minute. And so it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, there you go.
Facebook, they let you monetize videos in like 30, today I posted a video that was like 30 something seconds and it was monetized.
That's cool.
And I checked it was like $20 already on it. So that motherfucker going in.
So it kind of gives you your count, or like as the more views it gets.
It's this app called Creator Studio. This right here, and it'll tell you like.
Oh, does it have all of them? Or like, does it have Instagram too?
See, look at the video I just made. It already has $43 on it. Like, so no, Instagram doesn't have one. Facebook.
Oh, Facebook does, and it's weird because Instagram, like we're talking about, they're the same thing, but they're different.
I can't wait till Instagram catch up like with Facebook on certain things.
Oh, I think it will too.
It's gonna be a game changer.
And then do you do TikTok too?
I had almost 1 million followers on my TikTok. They deleted it.
Dude, I feel like TikTok deletes shit more often than like other.
They fuck with me the most. This Facebook page is actually my new one. My old one had 1 million, and they deleted that, and I was off Facebook for like 2 years, and I made another one, and I got 2 million followers. But they deleted it because they feel like my content. I kind of agree because they say that I steal people content, but then they say that it's go against the guidelines because people be falling. So that's why I made Earl too, so I could switch it up. But the reaction videos get the most views, like 30 million views.
And they're probably a little easier to do than, you know what I mean? Like you already have a subject, you just got to react to it, you know what I mean?
But I was doing that shit since Vine, and like people, like I feel like, I'm not saying I've been doing it first, but since I've been doing it since like Vine, and like if you go on the internet, you already see people doing it, but like how I do it without talking with the music, bruh, people copy
do that all the time,
especially people in different countries. Like at first I used to be mad, but people's like, you doing something right. So like,
people are gonna people whether you like it or not are gonna copy.
This African guy in Africa he do the same thing, and he on his bio he called himself the African version T Green. I'm like, wow, he African. You know, he look up to me.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. That's actually real cool. And yeah, it's one of those things too where like at the beginning you might be kind of upset about it. Like, but then it's like, hey, in reality you're just inspiring other people to do stuff. And like you feel like you carved that lane, you know what I mean? So it makes sense that.
Yeah. I'm just still be humble about it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Coming from Fresno, California.
Dude, yeah. So were you where were you born and raised? Fresno? Yeah, dude, because I was always born and raised in Merced. But I mean,
I like Merced, man. Me and my girl actually looking for a house right now here.
Oh, okay.
That's where she right now.
That's funny because I have a dude who sponsors my podcast, but he said he met you because he showed you a house. You know Marcus Rodriguez?
Marcus, you know Marcus too?
Yeah, dude, Marcus, he's the sponsor of the show, bro.
Shout out to Marcus,
man. Shout out to Marcus.
He's sending us houses, but we got approved for the amount, but we try to up it. So the houses he sent us, Marcus, man, them houses is ugly, bro. Yeah, but Marcus just doing his job, man. I follow Marcus too.
No, Marcus is real cool. He's a real cool guy. Yeah, but that's funny because he was like, no, actually, dude. He's like, I showed that because I was telling him, I was like, I'm actually getting this guy named Terrell Green, and he was like, I've been showing him some houses. I was like, oh, really? Come on, Marcus, get Terrell hooked up, bro.
Man, you guys really like. I fuck with y'all. Y'all support. Like in Fresno, it's hard, man. Like. A couple of people doing podcasts, and you'll think I'll be on there, how big I am, like, but nobody never
hits you up or anything.
I move out here. I'm already been on 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
So that's why like Dallas.
Yeah, shout out to Mulberry Dreams, also Dallas for also linking us. Yeah,
he already in Knoxville already, right?
Yeah. He's Tennessee. Is Tennessee right?
Tennessee.
Yeah. I know that I texted him the other day, and I was like, "When you getting more episodes out, man?"
Yeah, that's my boy. He a Cowboy fan. So when we played them, the Raiders.
Oh, you Raider fan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I like the Niners, but
y'all might go to the Super Bowl.
Maybe, dude. Isn't it?
Y'all offense is nice.
Isn't it your guys' division that where everyone's like? Is it where everyone's like 7-7?
7-7.
Yeah,
Broncos, us Broncos. The Chargers is good. The Chiefs. So
and it's
tough.
It's almost annoying because it's like when you look at, I think it was last year, the year before, the Cowboys and Eagles division.
Yeah,
it was like the winner of that division was like 6-7. They had a losing record.
Right, the Redskins.
Yeah.
I wish the Raiders was in that division. Shit.
Yeah. That's why. I'm like,
we got the toughest.
If any, because. Yeah, your guys' division's tough, and the Niners' division is tough too, because they have the Rams and Cardinals.
The Seahawks is weak, but they're a good week.
Yeah, they'll always surprise you. Yeah, they'll always surprise you. Well, I was surprised by the Saints game.
Buccaneers.
Yeah, the Saints and Bucks. Yeah,
no, bro, I go to Vegas and I get tickets. I had the Buccaneers and the Cardinals on the ticket, and my payout was $9,000, and I lost because those two.
Oh,
the Cardinals lost to the Lions.
Yeah,
like what the fuck,
dude? I was so pissed off of that. Yeah, and I was like, well, do you play fantasy football or no?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Playoffs. I'm in the playoffs.
Hey, me too, man. Hey, congrats on that.
I got Allen. The Valley.
Josh Allen,
my quarterback.
Yeah, Josh Allen. I have Herbert. Yeah.
He's nice too.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's extra week this year. So like normally it's like it would be like the last week would be this week.
Yeah,
but now it's not
because it's more games.
Yeah, it's because they added a game to it. Yeah.
Man, I love football.
Yeah, dude, I love Red Zone, man. Red Zone on Sundays morning. It's almost too addicting, honestly.
Wake up 10 o'clock, put it on, especially if you got fantasy.
Oh, yeah, exactly. How you were in multiple leagues or no?
No, I'm only in one this year because I just barely start playing.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be in multiple next year.
Yeah, because I was, but then don't join too many because I joined 1 year. I think I was in 3 or 4, and then you can't even enjoy it because you have people on every other team, and so you're cheering for this person, but you're also going against him in this league, and then you're getting all pissed off.
Especially if they playing against the 49ers, I know you'd be like, no, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. And then so now that it's end of 2021, going into 2022, you have any kind of goals for yourself or anything like that?
I want to start my second book. Just start, writing it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, put out more content, get more creative. More. I hate to say this, but get more financially stable.
No, I think that's what we're all looking for.
I'm so humble, but I hate talking about money because it makes me seem cocky. But of course, make more money.
Just grow everything pretty much.
I have a vision board, but everything on my vision board, that's what I'm trying to get accomplished. I'm trying to make a film.
Oh, okay.
And you talked about it earlier.
Hopefully
I could start off with Earl with you guys.
Yeah, dude,
so I'm here.
Dude, I'm not even lying. I can show you after we get done here. I'll show you our short film. It's a Western, but you can see the quality wise. What we can do. So.
Send it to me.
I got you, man. Yeah, so we'll get some stuff going for Earl, and
it's gonna be a big year though.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm excited for it because I started this podcast at the beginning of this year, and I didn't run any promotion on it or anything. I kind of just wanted to I wanted to figure it out before I started promoting it. If it was because it used to just be at my house in my bedroom,
right.
Or not my bedroom, but my home studio, and then kind of just slowly started growing, and then now at the end of the year, I started running ads on one of mine. It's just a conversation that me and a couple dudes had about Merced,
right.
And I just because I don't want to really it's with the podcast, I don't want to necessarily
You should get you got a YouTube channel for it?
Yeah, I got a YouTube channel for it.
You got to get a Facebook page.
Oh yeah, so
for instance, after our podcast is over, I could have took a little 15-second one and shared it and was I'll go watch the whole podcast on tag your page. Mm-hmm. But I could still tag your YouTube channel.
Yeah, okay. That'd be cool, man.
They're going to go check it out.
Yeah. Well, and I make a lot of promos for all my podcasts. So I'll cut it up and I do reels and then I do Insta TV and then I do a normal post as well. Just because I need my stuff to get out there in many avenues as it can. And reels have been it just randomly will work. Because sometimes, I don't even know why. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's why I came on too. Just like Dallas, I didn't even know Dallas, but it's more than just coming up here to talk about me. I want to help too, get your stuff out.
Yeah, well, and
that's
cool.
why I be telling people in Fresno, if y'all got podcasts, put me on there and let's talk, and then I promote you.
Yeah.
So
and that's cool because some people it's kind of when I was asking you, it's I kind of wanted somebody I was glad that I knew Dallas that knew you because it kind of is easier to kind of bridge the gap versus reaching out and then being lost in your DMs or something like that.
Yeah, see, if Dallas told me so, I was looking waiting for you.
Yeah.
But if you would have just hit me, I probably wouldn't even find you.
Yeah, exactly.
You sent me your page, so I knew how you.
Yeah, and it's kind of works. It works out better that way for everybody too. Right. Just have links and connections and vouching. Vouching for somebody because if you're okay, if he's pretty chill, and it's funny because me and Dallas we met a month before he moved away.
Wow.
And I just randomly started following him. And then, because my buddy Jimmy showed me his page, and then I just messaged him hey man, you have a podcast in the area, I have a podcast in the area. We should both go on each other's shows, pretty much. And Dallas was yeah, I'm down, man. And so I had him on our show or my show, and it was we were just vibing, cracking up, laughing. Yeah. And it's the first hour of us meeting each other, but
that's how we was.
Yeah,
he's a real genuine dude.
Yeah, exactly. And you could and it's funny because I lived 4 houses down from him for 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, and
in
Atwater. Yeah,
okay.
at his house in Atwater. Yeah, and so it was and I told the whole story about I accidentally stole my neighbor's dog.
Accidentally?
Yeah, no, because yes, accidentally. But basically, I was just outside of my house, and me and my buddy were going to Starbucks that was right around the corner, and then this pit bull was running around, and I just called into my car, and I was hey, come here, and it jumped in my car, and I was well, whatever, I'll just take this dog for a ride, and so I got it a puppuccino at Starbucks and everything, and then I posted it on Instagram, and I was is this my dog? No. Do I know whose dog this is? No. Oh. And I just and then I went back to my house. The dog came to my house, hung out a little bit, and then I just let it go out the front door.
Oh, so
meanwhile, the next day I get a message, and it's like, Micah, is this the dog that you had? And it was just like, it was a Facebook post, and it was like missing. It said missing dog. It's like, I saw 2 dark gentlemen call my dog into their car, and it's like me and my buddy.
2 dark gentlemen. Oh wow, that's crazy.
Already.
So
already.
That's
and
crazy.
I wasn't more upset. I wasn't.
Did you have black on?
No. It was just
wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, please, like they stole the dog out of my front yard, blah blah. And I was more upset because I'm like, dude, I'm your neighbor. Like you should know that, like at least what my car looks like. You know what I mean? Like
crazy.
I park that car every single day in front of your house.
They didn't get the dog?
Oh no. And then they made an update post, and it was like, update, whoever stole my dog must have been afraid. something.
Oh,
and I was just like, I just can't believe that.
You should have kept it. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it was just like ridiculous.
What kills me is they said 2 dark people.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, my other friend was like half Indian, half Mexican, but like we're like, I mean, like we're not. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, it just, I don't know, probably a white Karen on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Karen.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
And then, did you read a lot?
I actually do. I just got done reading today. Like I read at least 30 minutes a day if I can. Mm-hmm. But I like reading a lot of law of attraction books.
Oh, okay. And so can you explain that to me? I know I've heard it before.
Man, you got to get on it. If you haven't, like after this podcast, if you can, go to Barnes & Noble and get The Secret. That book right there changed my whole life, bro. I was in a dark place battling depression, mental health issues or whatever, and I bought The Secret. And it actually helps you, like, whatever thoughts, like, put positive thoughts, the energy, whatever energy you put out into the universe, it comes back. Like, that's why I say I got a vision board, because it talks about it on there also. It's a DVD on Netflix, too. You can watch it.
I think I have
called The Secret. It's real. It's so powerful, bro. I had made my vision board in 2018. I was flat broke. Some of the things I put on there is some things I wanted, like a MacBook, like the new, like the 2018 MacBook. I wanted that. Passport, that was easy. I got that. And then I had like 100,000. I had a picture of some money, and I said I wanted to make 100,000 in a year. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I kept telling myself like I'm gonna do it, and I believed every day before I go to sleep, or I meditate, look at my vision board, and I close my eyes, visualize the things.
That's cool.
Visualize me with it, and right now I made over 100,000. I have like that computer. I was able to buy it. Only thing I don't have on there yet is like the big 5-bedroom house, and I feel like that's coming.
Hey, that's coming.
Crazy. So, man, just read that book, bro.
I'll definitely read that book. I've been looking for different stuff.
It teach you how to be, abundance, all that.
Well, I'm a big proponent of like just positive vibes. Just positive. Like I don't necessarily believe in karma, but I do believe whatever you put out into the world,
it's gonna
come back. Yeah, exactly. And I'm
good karma, bad karma.
Yeah, exactly. And like some people, like I think. Or like, horoscope wise stuff. Some people like believe in stuff too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes I think
but yeah, exactly. Tricky. But because I like to read too. Because have you ever read? I'm trying to think. I just recently read. Recently, it was like last year. It's called Sapiens, but it's kind of like the beginning of human history and like how we came to be, and it kind of relates like modern like social problems and stuff back to like our ancestral days and like the problems we faced then, and like
what's the name of it?
It's called Sapiens.
By who?
I can't tell you. I'm sorry.
Or you could just tell.
I can tell you after. I have a
because I'll go get that.
Yeah,
ASAP,
that one's good. Have you read Man's Search for Meaning?
No, that sounds like something I read though, because I'm searching for meaning.
Yeah, and I think that's what we all are. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like we're all trying to find that, and that one's pretty. It's a tough read in the sense that it's kind of written a little old school and it's written from the point of view. I believe it was written by somebody who was in a concentration camp, and it talks about the daily life.
They have like people that like translate it.
No, I think that. I mean, I'm sure they have.
When you say hard, like, is it like?
I mean, it's just like it's kind of like it's words that you don't hear anymore. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of.
I done read books like that one time. I'm like, fuck,
dude. Well, that's why.
And I go back to it. Like, have you read "Beheld of the Pale White Horse"? I don't even want to talk about it. It's just like it's exposing the government.
Okay, so like that. Dude, I read.
It's hard to read, but it's some shit in there.
I read some shit about. It's called The Looming Tower, and it's about 9/11 and kind of like about Osama bin Laden.
Inside job.
Yeah, no, and it kind of talks about just like how it almost was just like all happenstance that Osama bin Laden was able to do it, because like it talks in the book like about 6 or 7 times that Osama bin Laden was almost killed in his life, and it goes like from his childhood growing up, and he had like. I want to say he had like 20 brothers and sisters or more. It was like a ridiculous,
Probably, yeah.
it was a ridiculous number because you can have multiple wives over there
yeah.
and stuff. But it was one of the most interesting books. I read it for a history class one time, and the history teacher did not teach us anything about like what was on. Like every day we were assigned a chapter, and then we talk about it in class.
So y'all read that? Y'all was just the whole year? That's what y'all.
Oh yeah, for like the full 4 months. Like we just like read a chapter a day.
I bet you passed.
Dude, yeah. And then at the end of class, there'd be 5 minutes of class every single day. He was like, these things are going to be on the test. And he would just put stars next to like 4 of his notes. And they're just like...
wow. See, I wish I had that in high school.
Yeah. Well, that was like, that was college.
It's college?
Yeah. Well, that's JC, man. That's the benefits of going to the JC, you know what I mean?
College too, freshman.
And then there's, have you read War of Art? It's like...
I read Art of War.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's what it is? Oh, shit, yeah. I read that. Yeah, I got that book.
And that's like just kind of like little mini stories, I feel like. Yeah. It's like trials and tribulations. Yeah, I like that book a lot.
I use that book a lot.
And then there's Into the Wild. Have you read that book? It's like basically kind of like what we're talking about. You're trying to find your passion in life. You're kind of it's that he graduated college. He didn't want to know what he wanted to do. And like I really relate to it because that's kind of like after I graduated college, I was like trying to be a teacher for a while, and then I wasn't really passionate about it.
Here.
And maybe like I would have been passionate if it's like videography or photography. Right. And then I kind of like got into photography and video through like this competition I saw online. It was like, make a video about your dream job. And so I hit up Jimmy, who's right out there, and we just started working on a video. And then since then we've been working, that was 2018.
2018.
And since then we've just been working on like, and it was like, we were like, oh, we're going to make it on YouTube. And then we're like, okay, that's real. You can't bank on that. You know what I mean? And then we started doing like just weddings and photo gigs, and then now we actually have stuff lined up, and so it's finally paying
So
off.
you know how to work Photoshop?
Yeah.
I might need you to help me because I got a green screen and
I know a lot of Photoshop.
We wanted to take like family pictures, but now that we know you can do it, we can come here. But I do need you to help me with Photoshop. Like I know I do Premiere Pro, like the video, like the green screen, that's easy, but the photos, it's hard.
Yeah. Let me know, man.
Video is easy.
I can definitely help you out on stuff. Yeah, dude, I'm definitely down. And then so you read a lot, and then what made you kind of wanna write a book? And then you guys, his book is Against All Odds.
Against All Odds
by Terrell Green. It's just a story about you, basically, right?
It's a short read. You'll probably get hooked like once you. Especially if you follow me on Instagram. But if you don't, just read the first chapter and you want to know.
I didn't put it down. Like I literally read it all the way through. Just because, and I thought it was like, it was like it's engaging the whole time.
Yeah. So what made me want to write a book? Actually, I was in high school before the videos, and I was going through a lot, like mom on drugs, didn't have a lot. Me and my friend was talking to each other, the one that I talked about in the book. We was like, bro, we've been through a lot. We should write a book about our life. Like, I was like, I might write a book about my life. That's a good idea because I have been through a lot. And then once he died, obviously I was there and I witnessed him dying. That's when I was like, man, my life is, have you ever sat back and was like, man, my life is like a movie. Like, that's how I felt. So I was like, maybe I could write a book about my life. And then once I got an audience, like a fan base, it was just perfect timing. Like, I'm just telling my testimony. Yeah. Because there's people out there that's going through what I've been through and don't know how to handle, like, their mental health. Because I seen, like, walking in the room, seeing your mom high, or, seeing your friend get killed, seeing your sister, my sister got killed. Just the stuff you see, and everybody dealing with mental health. So I wrote my book to help people, to help people out with mental health issues. Yeah,
it's and like you're saying, like a lot of things happen. It was a pretty heavy book too, because sometimes after some of the chapters, I just kind of have to stop. Like, okay, I gotta. Yeah, and you did kind of separate it, like in the way that you kind of built, like with the different chapters. It was kind of like a tragic event, then kind of new light, kind of
every time something bad happened, something good happened. So that's just life right there. You got to understand, like, something bad can happen today. You gotta know that it's gonna be better. Yeah. It's gonna get better. You can't just sit there and let life beat you up. Yeah. If you do, you're screwed.
No, yeah, exactly. It's a sick cycle.
I was in a dark place, bro. When my friend died, I had dropped out of school. I was playing football, and I was one of the top athletes in Fresno, like as far as speed wise. So I had a promising future. But when my friend died, I didn't even want to go to school no more. I didn't want to be around people, so I was at home and I had a phone, and it was just on Wi-Fi at my dad's house, and I was that's when I started making videos. That's when I really started actually.
And
because I graduated 2012.
And you were talking about you went to college and you kind of lost that
that's when Vine was still out.
And you kind of lost, or you like in that book, in that chapter, you kind of talked about how you're trying to find yourself basically. You sports. Because earlier in the book, you talked about how sports kind of like gave you escape. And now like you were like just always flooded with your thoughts pretty much,
like
right?
I'd be out there like getting ready to run a route and I'm thinking about the night of my friend getting killed. Like, just imagine being in a room like this, we chilling and, you know, another friend have a gun and go off.
Yeah. And so
there'll be times where I go to sleep and I hear a gunshot. Like the stuff you see on movies when people be having mental health and PTSD, that shit real.
No, yeah, it is. No, it for sure is. Yeah, I have some family members and stuff that have dealt with a lot of mental illness.
And they think that because only people that go to like the war has it. Like no. A car crash and causes shit, a breakup, but shit, seeing somebody get killed could definitely cause it. Like I'm living with it every day. Like I told you earlier, like I get money now, like because I was poor, but now that I'm able to buy everything I want, that shit still don't heal.
Oh yeah, and it's never gonna. People think that money's gonna bring the happiness, and like, I think like
it eliminates some stress, but at the end of the day, like.
I do think it definitely does eliminate stress.
Yeah.
Obviously, and
bills.
I think, and people obviously, some people talk about like I don't know how easy it is, I guess, with money and stuff or not how easy, but like how it does fix all your problems. It don't fix all your financial problems and your stresses of those, but it doesn't fix anything emotionally or like in your head
at all.
Yeah.
Fuck, I want to see a therapist.
Dude, I've had a friend that recently started seeing a therapist, and like out of the blue, one day he called me, and like he's not one that I would ever think like to call me about like being depressed or anything like that, and he was just kind of like telling me what was going on, and like he's like one of my best friends, best man, and like so it was just like in your book, you kind of like I think one of the last chapters, you kind of just talk about like if you are dealing with mental health or mental illness, just reach out to somebody. It doesn't have to be like like you're saying, it doesn't have to be a therapist, or doctor, but like people care about you,
and you should check on him more.
No, we talk a lot.
You know, it's crazy. Like 2 months ago, Cal Hope, it's like a big thing. Like Cal Hope, they reached out to me. I guess they read my book, and I did a campaign with them. It was for like people that's, you know, dealing with mental health issues during the pandemic. Really? So like it was like a commercial. Nick Young was a part of it. I forgot his name. He played for the 49ers. Miguel, the R&B singer, like we all was a part of this campaign to get people to like call the warm line for mental health. So that was another big spotlight in my life. Like that was
and like using your platform for that, you know what I mean? Like it allowed you to, and it's cool because like now that you do have your audience, you do have a platform, you can kind of, you know what helped you like in the past, and so you want to kind of just shed light on those different areas.
That's why looking back, I'm like, man, maybe this is the life God, you know, this the car. I'm living the life that God, my purpose really. Yeah, and that's why I think I related to your book so much is that like, you know, I mean, a lot of tragic things have happened in your life, and I can't relate to, you know, a lot of those, but what I could relate to in your book is just like little small things that like everyone, like you and Marquise in it, when like you're talking about how you used to just talk about like God, the future, and just stuff like that. It's like all like growing up when you have your like boys or your friends, like that's just stuff that you talk about that, and then what you're talking about when you're talking about not like you're in college and you're trying to find your why. That's what you said in the book, right? You're trying to find your why. And I think that everybody can relate to that because like that's what I was trying to find for the longest time. I was trying to find like what do I want to do? Because I was doing everything that I felt like I should be doing for my whole life and not like ask myself what I want to do. And that's when I started doing like photography and videography. Right. And then this podcast got born through it. And I really enjoyed like doing this. And I just like talking to people because I think that a lot of people can learn from it. And there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of underrepresentation of like people in the Central Valley, like Fresno or basically Bakersfield to like Sacramento, like whether you like it or not, that's Central Valley, guys. You know what I mean? Right. Sacramento, you're a big city, but you're still in the Central Valley. They want to say it's the Bay, but no, yeah, exactly. But they got Mozzie and some great rappers. So they do. I'll give them their credit on there. Stockton is Stockton. Oh, dude, Stockton's is Stockton part of the Bay? No, Stockton's just like it's just like an hour north of here, basically. But have you ever heard of Don Quez? He's a rapper out of Stockton. I heard of it. That's why I brought, because they got some rappers on the rise in Stockton. Oh, they do. And then have you heard of GB?
Have you ever heard? His name's Ghetto Boy. He's from Merced, but he gets posted on Thizzler a lot.
Oh yeah, Thizzler. They show a lot of love to rappers.
Exactly, and that's something that like hasn't been seen before.
They be posting some rappers in Fresno, so that's huge.
Yeah, and then that's what GB's from Merced, and so he's been posted over there all the time.
I gotta check him out.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, and then Don Quez is really cool too. And then that's with this podcast. It's like I never meant for like to have like so many like rappers on, but like I have like a lot of rappers on my podcast, and it's because like those are people who are actively doing stuff and actively like doing stuff for the city and stuff. And GB, he's a really cool dude. Like he's like super humble. Like I asked him to introduce himself. He's like, I'm just another person. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I like. And he always puts on giveaways for the kids and does different stuff like that. It just, I think growing up, like everyone had a perception about, rap or whatever type of people it was. And like now with like the new day and age, I feel like a lot of people are just like, you can take that route and be a good person. And you know what I mean? When it might have not seemed like you could do that like back in the day.
Yeah.
But like, so for my musical guests, I always have them, they'll like perform in the corner right there and I'll videotape them. And so it's kind of like a little more interactive. And that's what I want to do with this podcast is like, so it'd be like my intro starts and then I introduce them to performing a song. And then sometimes they also perform a song like when the podcast ends. But it gives the listeners like at least something to look forward to.
You're going down the right road. Like I told Dallas, like you just got to keep, like when I started my videos, like just like you, like if you keep on doing it, you'll be surprised. Now people gonna reach out to you and like, hey, can you advertise our stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's gonna come down to if you keep on doing it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is it's like I'm never not doing this for like per se for the money. You know what I mean? Like some people think I have a studio and like I must have like a lot together.
You love it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're doing what you love to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't never when you start doing it because you want. Start making money, that's gonna take the fun out of it.
No, exactly. And
I'm doing like it'd be people writing me like, oh, you helped me out from committing suicide, or that's what I'm doing it for the people. The money gonna come, like, but if you doing it for the people, and you love to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I'm making a skit, I'm in a whole nother world. Like I'm happy. That's when I'm happy. That's my happy place when I'm making a skit.
Yeah, because you kind of, you gotta kind of lose yourself in the craft. You know what I mean? And it's probably like interesting for you because that type of craft it's a different than like. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a TV script or like anything like that. It's like you're just trial and errors. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, it's the same thing with video and photography because sometimes like I'll be doing like video work and like you're like I'm just shooting everything like at weddings and stuff. And then when I look back at stuff, it's like oh shit, like this is like the perfect scene to transition into this one. And it's just like serendipitous of it all. You know what I mean?
We all gotta showing your creativity basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And then in your book. The first chapter, Your Mama's Boy, you talk about your grandma in it, and you said you never got a chance to meet your grandma, right? No. And she passed away, but it seems like your grandma didn't take shit from fucking anybody.
Hell no.
Well, can you talk about like the story?
Shit, does my mama have it?
Yeah, the story about your grandma and your neighbor and the neighbor.
I guess somebody had hit. Was it my mom?
Yeah, somebody hit your mom.
And my mom had told my grandma was at work.
Yeah.
She went over and knocked on the neighbor's door.
Yeah.
And then I guess they got in a fight. I think my mom told me my grandma stabbed the lady.
It was 16 or 17 times. That's what you said in the book. Yeah, so I just read it like recently, so it's all fresh.
And then it's crazy. My mom she said one of her I don't want to say who did it, but a family member got her on drugs. And it's like a repeated cycle because I'm an open book. I even said in the book I started taking pills and that's how I got introduced to pills from my mom.
Yeah, well, and I remember, I have a little quote here that, like, in that first chapter, you're saying you're like it's kind of like a generational thing, right? Yeah. Like with like the drugs and stuff.
Got to break it.
But yeah, and the way that you said it, you're like, it's safe to say my mother did not have a normal childhood either, and it was kind of like just that quote alone kind of just made me think about how, just like. You were relating to your mother, you know what I mean? Already from like the beginning of the book, you're kind of like my childhood wasn't the best either, but how can my childhood, earlier you're just saying like I sympathize with my mom basically, and that just really stuck out to me just because it was just different, you know what I mean? You're just
she seen someone get killed. I probably didn't put that in the book, but everything my mom been through is like I'm going through the same.
Really?
I just ain't like addicted to drugs as much as she is.
Mm-hmm.
I might get in my feelings and pop a prescription pill, because I think that's another thing was wrong with this young generation. Like you hear rappers talk about, Percocets,
Xans,
yeah, like that's how we cope with our pain, but that's why I read a lot and meditate, so I won't have to turn to drugs. I think Drake J. Cole said, meditate, don't medicate.
Yeah.
So that's meditate, don't medicate.
Yeah, dude. I love J. Cole too.
Yeah, I seen him in Vegas not too long ago.
Oh, really? Was it when you went to the Raider game?
Nah, before that.
Okay.
We were staying at the Venetian.
Dude, the Venetian's nice.
Yeah, I was walking this way. Me and my partner and J. Cole was walking right in front of us, and we froze. Like, we looked at each other and looked back, and he had on like sweats and like baggy.
What he always has on.
Yeah.
It seems like he just goes out there like just chilling.
He was just like normal. I'm like, see, I'm not even gonna like stop him and say nothing. I was just shocked he was walking around like that with no security, nothing.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, because a lot of people, they're full security.
Oh, I seen T.I. in Atlanta. I ran into T.I. He didn't have security. He walk around that motherfucker like God.
Yeah, Atlanta's pretty.
Yeah, and Westbrook was right by him. He was talking.
That's funny. I saw Westbrook. I was in Lake Tahoe, and it was during Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz fighting, and they were all watching. We were all watching it, and then like there was this guy standing in the corner, and then as me and my cousins were going out, all of us were like, "Oh shit, that's Westbrook," but he was just giving us all fist bumps on the way out.
Oh,
but
he was cool.
Yeah, he was cool about it. You know what I mean? Because he had just gotten there for that last fight and was just standing in the back just to watch it. And I'm like, that's sick. And then in that second chapter is this love. It was like, so this is when you kind of start becoming aware of your mom's drug addiction, kind of, right? And so what age?
Started to get older.
Yeah, so what age did you kind of start realizing what was going on?
I was a dumbass. I was so oblivious. Damn, how old was I? I know my whole middle school, I knew she was taking pills and getting high. But it wasn't until like I got to high school I started realizing she was doing more than pills.
Yeah.
So, because I started seeing like a little foil like around the house, and I used to always just being so naive. Then when I got older, I put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh, bruh, she's smoking.
Yeah.
But you know, I can't fault her. Like she did a good job covering up because no matter what, she was always still loving me. Like, although we didn't have a lot, like she did her best.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
yeah, and that you just got to be thankful for what you have, honestly.
Probably like high school, freshman year, I realized like she was really doing.
And that's what
more than pills. I knew when I was younger she used to take somas and shit.
Yeah, and somas are kind of what Vicodin is, kind of, or
I don't know. They muscle relaxers. I know that. And she used to try to like go outside, bro. Like it'd be times like I'm outside playing football with my friends, and then I look and see my mama.
Oh yeah, and you say
high as hell.
In
outside.
the book, you're like, man, I hope she don't start tripping, right?
Yeah, like
they started thinking stuff like that.
I had to like, Mom, come on, carry her. We stayed on the 3rd floor in the Summercrest Apartments in Fresno, and I had to like carry her up.
Oh yeah, you talked about it in the book, how she was all the way down from the 3rd floor, and you're like, how am I supposed to get my mom back?
Friends would be over at the house, and she'd try to come out and like be walking like a zombie. And that'd be so embarrassing. We playing the game, I'm like, fuck, but
yeah. And then that's
what it is.
Yeah, in that same chapter you talk about that's kind of when you started getting into sports, basically. Using it as
I started playing sports late, and I was just so good at it because I started 8th grade. That's when I started
playing
football.
That's when you started?
I started running track like in the whenever like 3rd grade.
Oh,
and that's why I knew I was fast. But football, 8th grade, and that was my real escape route because I was able to go like, you know.
Just you're a part of a team. That's your family there or whatever. That type of just
with the bros,
camaraderie.
Football,
exactly.
Family.
Yeah, exactly.
Track is more individual, so
and
that shit make you nervous as fuck before the track.
I
was fast, but like I could be running against some slow people. I'm still gonna be like, fuck, I don't want to lose.
Well, and it's like I only did it in junior high, but it's like the little gun thingy. It's like I don't know when you're gonna pull it.
Runners
so how
on your mark. That shit nervous, and you getting down waiting from the set. And you gotta wait for him to shoot it.
And then you almost get like shocked, like when it does, and then you're like, what? Like I gotta run, like
and you don't want to lose.
One time I remember, like I was like running, and I fell forward, but I just like landed on my back and did a somersault, and then just stood right back up and like kept running.
You didn't get DQ?
No, they just, I mean,
you
it was
stayed in your lane?
it was in junior high too, So I mean, I'd probably like they're just like
you raw.
Yeah. I didn't get last, surprisingly. I got second and last. But
so
it's just like I fell
and
forward and like I just like rolled and then naturally like ended up on my feet again, and I was like, whatever.
Well, you lucky
I honestly forgot about that memory until like right now because I haven't talked about junior high track.
That's something I put in my video right there.
Too bad there wasn't a video of it.
You need some
and
milk.
Then you talked about your track coach, right? And that's kind of where you first
Poindexter.
Poindexter, that's his name?
Yeah, he actually played in the NBA.
I was about to ask you that. I was going to say, did he really play in the NBA?
He did. His nephew played for the Memphis Grizzlies, Quincy.
Really?
I think that's his name. But yeah, he played in the NBA. He was a cool dude. He helped me out a lot.
Another beer, you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, he was a cool dude.
Yeah, and so he kind of was like started. You said he was like basically your first mentor, kind of.
He was. Like,
and so, what did he kind of show you? Like, or what did you like? What drew you to him?
He told me like never like not to give up because when I first started running track, I was weak as hell. Your story was funny, but mine I ran the 400 and I had like stopped. I was in first place, bro, and I stopped.
You just like
tired.
Gassed out, pretty much.
And I stopped, and then like after that, and I almost gave up, I almost quit, and he used to tell me like, "Just keep going. You good. You got a good future at it." And I kept going. And I always remember him telling me that, like.
That's cool. And it's
going.
The opposite of that other
teacher.
That other teacher?
Yeah, Mr. Hill. He texted me. We was talking right after my book. Really? I told him about it, that he helped me out a lot. He used to, because we used to get in trouble a lot. And he used to be like, "You're going to either end up in jail or dead."
Yeah.
And, that resonated with me throughout my whole...
That you said you kept them, like, thinking back to it. Like, because I think you talked about it in whatever chapter, but then later you're like, I still would think about...
Yeah.
And that would stick with you.
Like, my freshman year, I was fucking up, and I was like, Mr. Hill might be right. I might end up,
Yeah.
I was fucking up. So when I was like, no, I'm going to get my shit together.
Yeah, because one of my questions was what is Mr.
wrong.
Hill up to now?
I think he's still teaching at West Fresno.
Oh, okay.
I gotta
and
go
it's
visit.
funny because like sometimes you do need that tough love. Like
Hell yeah.
whether like
I thought he was being an asshole.
Oh, he probably, and growing up, like when teachers are, sometimes teachers are mean for no fucking reason, right? Other times there's teachers that like, they're doing it because they think you can handle it, or that they're just like, hey, like I'm just being completely real with you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And he was. Because a lot of my friends at that time is in jail. Some of them probably is dead. Like from West Fresno, the kids that I grew up with, a lot of them ain't, succeeding in life. Mm-hmm. They either gang banging or in jail.
Yeah.
So he was telling the truth. You gotta pick and choose what life you want. And I chose mine. Yeah. But I almost, seeing my friend get killed, like I came that close to so much bullshit.
Yeah, and
I don't know how I made it out.
You and Marquise were friends. You said you were friends at elementary?
We was friends at elementary, but he was in a foster home, so he moved to Bullard, which is on the other side of town. I'm from the west side, so I had to stay at Edison. So I haven't seen him, and then he transferred to back to Edison his junior year, my senior year, so it's like he was in the office, and I was in I forgot, he was signing up or whatever, and he seen me, he was like, "Terrell?" And I looked off like Marquise, and then we picked up from there.
Exactly where you left off. Yeah. That's cool. That's real cool. And then that story, that chapter was really heavy. I was really started slowing down when I was reading that one.
Yeah.
And so basically the story kind of goes, you guys are just hanging out one night and you're hungry. You want to get some pizza. Marquise is like... we
didn't have no money.
Yeah, Marquise was like, I'll sell my iPod Touch.
He said,
so that tells you the time era of, it.
So we walked across the street to Walgreens and some guy was buying it. I forgot how much, but I'm going to say a price. Marquise was selling it for like 100 or something.
No, it was 80, and then the guy only got 60. Yeah.
Yeah, because he said, I only got 60. My son really wanted bad. I remember looking in the car, and he had his son with him, and then Marquise was like, "It's all right, you can get it." Mm-hmm. And then we walk away, I'm like, "Bro, you stupid. Somebody else would have bought it for 80. Mm-hmm. He's like, "It's all right, God gonna bless me."
Yeah.
30 minutes later, we go into the house, and we chilling, talking to old boy, and we didn't think nothing was gonna happen. Marquise standing up right there. Me and my nephew was sitting down in the kitchen right here, and the guy was playing like, it started and pointed it and went off.
Yeah, so it was just an accidental kind of.
It was his reaction was accident, but I think it was accident. His reaction was accident. If it was purpose, he probably would have shot me and my nephew.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, just mishandle of a gun. Yeah, because when I was reading it, I was like, oh, it just went. Yeah, because he
had a how people play Russian roulette.
Yeah.
He had that type of gun.
He was just spinning it or messing with it.
I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
That's fucked.
At first, I thought he shot at the ceiling because when the gun went off, it was so loud. Like we all went like this, and I looked up. Like I know he didn't, because I know he didn't shoot Marquise.
Yeah.
And I didn't see Marquise. I looked down. He on the ground.
Dude, that's wild. And then how old was your nephew?
He wasn't even in high school yet.
Damn.
I think 2 years after that was his freshman year in high school.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah, he dealing with a lot of shit too, because my sister is his mom.
Dude, yeah. And so your sister's Misha, right?
Book, yeah.
Yeah, and so Misha, what I kind of got from that, or your relationship with Misha, was kind of because you talk about a mama's boy, and like I'm a big mama's boy too, and you're kind of craving your mom's attention, you're kind of craving just the motherly love that I think it's like
every boy wants.
And it's also like nature versus nurture kind of. That's what it reminded me of. And but it seemed like you and Misha kind of. involuntarily, you know what I mean? She was born earlier than you when your mom was 14, right?
Yeah, my mom had her at a young age.
Yeah, at a young age.
She's my oldest.
But it seemed like she gave you kind of that motherly.
Because when my mom was gone, like it'd be times when my mom be gone for 2 days, nobody know where she at. And my sister, I stay with my sister and my nephew and niece. And her birthday was January 15th, and mine's the 17th. So
you're real close. Yeah,
Capricorns. And she was laid back like me. She just so happened to go out to a party, after party or whatever in Fresno. That's why I don't like going down Fresno. And if anybody watching this and y'all go out in Fresno, be safe or don't do it at all. But she was at an after party and she was with my other sister, her boyfriend. Her boyfriend had on the P hat out there in Fresno. P stands for a gang.
Oh, okay.
And he wasn't from that gang, but so I guess somebody thought he was, and then they shot it. They were shooting at him.
And they just bystandered? Yeah.
My sister was an innocent bystander, and he got killed too. So that was fucked up.
That's fucked up.
That's why.
And then your sister had how many? Two kids?
And they was at the time they was babies damn near. My nephew that was with me with Marquise and his sister, they was in fucking elementary.
Damn.
So my nephew, just imagine losing his mom. He old enough to know.
Yeah.
And to seeing somebody like he had a relationship with Marquise, like so.
Damn.
That's why like he be on Facebook in his feelings. I be feeling sorry for him, like, but if he need anything, he know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's a lot to take in. And then you talk about grieving in this chapter, and like I think everyone deals with grieving in different ways. Recently, my wife's cousin ended up passing away from COVID. And like it was just like I've never been to a funeral with like where a young person passed away. Like because he was
COVID.
Yeah, he was
young.
He was, I think it was like 35 or under.
He didn't have health problems?
No, I mean overweight, but like still like I just think it's just the way that everyone's handling COVID. Like yeah, it's like a disease, but it's not like they never once had a doctor go see him. They Skyped their doctors in.
Skype?
Yeah, or probably Zoom or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, no,
and what the doctor is doing, telling them.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like, how can you treat a patient? How can you really treat a patient? But like, I had never been to a funeral of like someone who was like younger, and it was like the saddest thing I've ever been to. Like honestly, like, and I wasn't like, I mean, I hung out with him and stuff. He was like, I mean, he's my wife's cousin, so obviously I hung out with him. But like, I was pretty affected by it, and it's not like it wasn't necessarily like, I mean, it is my family, but you know what I mean? Like,
you wasn't crying?
No, I was crying. That's what I'm saying, and that's like I did like. It's like I just had never. It just was a sad scenario.
Yeah, I hate funerals, bro. I was a pallbearer for Marquise, and then like 2 years after that, I didn't talk about that. I don't think, but my friend DeAndre Howard got killed too, and I was a pallbearer for him.
Damn.
So I was a pallbearer before that. Like I wasn't even 21 yet, but probably 21. I was a pallbearer twice, and that's what.
And all for your friends too.
For my friends, yeah. Like so, and then like my girlfriend, family members be dying to the point I'm like, I be telling like I don't even want to go to no funerals. Like because when I go, I don't cry.
Yeah, so you said that with your sister's funeral, right? You just couldn't cry, right?
That's the reason why I got my tattoos too. Like I was hurting inside, but it was like that shit don't come out. Like I'm
really.
Yeah, I show my pain a different way. Like I cry when I'm alone, but it's just random. But at funerals is like, and plus I'm so used to people dying. It's like when my dad died after his funeral, it wouldn't even come out, bro.
Really,
it's hard. Like I don't know why it don't come.
Yeah, that is interesting. And then that's what you kind of said. And I think but I like that you talked about your grieving process, because I think a lot of times people just keep it all bottled up.
Yeah, that's what I do. Mean? I keep it all bottled up. So sometimes when I'm in the shower by myself, I think about them and I cry, but not like poo-hooing, but it's like some tears.
No, yeah, I gotcha. And the teardrop kind of, because you got a teardrop on your face, and that kind of just symbolizes like, you're like, I am hurting, but I just, and like you're saying that people are in your high school are kind of like.
Yeah,
like
when I first came to school, like, right after my sister died, I got it, boom. And I came, kids gonna be kids. They was asking like, what you got that for? You didn't kill nobody. Like, and then some of my friends that knew what was going on was like, chill out. Like, his sister just died.
And so
then when Marquise died, I got two, actually. It's
really?
Two. Like, so, yeah. Like, I was young when I got him, like, but shit, I don't regret it.
And Marquise, was that your freshman year of college when that happened?
Yep, he was.
Right? You said he was still in high school?
He was senior, and I just graduated. So, because remember I told you we had met back up my senior year, his junior year. So that next year I graduated, he was a senior, and that's when he passed.
Damn. And I liked I'm going to read a little quote that you had, but on page 14, I think it was, Let me see. It just really stuck out with me, and because like it just said, I learned that life is too short, and you need to enjoy your loved ones while they are still living. Everyone deals with pain differently. Getting a teardrop tattoo was a way I dealt with my pain at the time. My sister was in my life for a reason. Even though she was only here for a short time, I'm still learning more about what the reason is by day. I think grieving is a lifelong process. Like my tattoo, I don't think the pain ever really goes away. You just learn how to manage it better with time. She would want me to live my life happy and be happy, not sad. So that's how I'm going to continue her legacy and make sure her kids are good, just like she did for me. It was just like, I feel like, you know, you had like, obviously there's so many tragic events that happen in your life, but at almost like the last paragraph of almost every single chapter, it's kind of like you reflect back on what you learned and like what you can look at. Right. And then I think, what chapter was it? It's when you talk about it's the first time you pray to God. Was that Misha?
Yeah, when she was in the hospital, it was like, I knew I had to pray to God. Like,
and that was the first time you said you turned to God, right? Pretty much in your life. First time I prayed
as a kid. Like, I used to always, in the back of my head, knew God existed. Mm-hmm. But as far as me, like, sitting there talking to him, praying, like, begging, that was the first time. And
that's the first time you really reached out and trying to, like, God came into your life.
And even she died, so that's, like, made me, like, I don't know, I believed him even more, like, okay, I don't know, like, but I was like, why her, though? Mm-hmm. I prayed to him and she died, like, it just made me more intrigued, like, by life. Like, I wonder if he real, I'm gonna have to figure out. And I kept on going through stuff, and then every time something happened, good happened. So I'm like, maybe this is how life is.
Yeah, maybe this is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, and I think that, I mean, I don't know exactly, but I mean, the reason that religion, in my opinion, is like so prominent is that like everyone wants, I mean, whatever religion it is, everyone kind of wants to believe that like this isn't it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't I have no idea like, you know, what's actually real and what's not. And like no one really does. But that's why people have that faith is just because it's the longing that like there's more to life than just this. You know what I mean?
I'd rather believe than not. Than when you die and it's real, then I don't know. I'd rather believe in God right now and then not believe him. So like, what if? I don't know.
Yeah, what something happened, and then
he's real.
Yeah, exactly. You done fucked up.
Yeah. That's why I say energy. Everything is energy to me. Mm-hmm. The energy you put out is I translate with energy too. It's like when I have these conversations with people afterwards, I just feel like I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like a high. It's like I have like good energy and stuff like that. And I've had podcasts where you know there wasn't a good energy too. Just one or two, but they come in and be all like
it was just a little mumbly, and then just like it's just like I'm having my podcast because I want to have a conversation. Yeah. Don't just like some people will just sit there like waiting for me to ask them the questions. I'm like, we're having a conversation. Right. It's not solely like interview. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's an hour long for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so after your sister passed away, and so we just read that quote right there. That's when you had it was a New Beginnings chapter. Yeah. And that's when you ended up moving back with your dad, correct?
I moved back with my dad.
Yeah, and so kind of what was like the last straw or like what'd you kind of just decide to move back with your dad?
Like he told me personally like the welfare check was in my name, and I told him like my mom not giving me shit out of that.
Yeah.
I'm not getting nothing. I'm going to school wearing the same shit I wear last year. He was like, dude, if you come stay with me, I'll let you keep your check. All you gotta do is give me the food stamps. Just put food now. So I'm like, all right. And then we went through that whole process to get it switched over because my mom I don't know what she was doing with the money, and when I did get money from like gambling with my friends, she'd like, I'll have it in my drawer and it'd come up missing. She'd try to blame it on somebody else. So I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
That's why I moved with my dad.
That's why you moved with your dad. And then your dad's
something I should have been like, my dad is dead. Like I think about it all the time, like, I should spend more time with him. Because he was cool, laid back. Like,
and you have so in the beginning of the book, you talk about you and your brother and how basically in the very beginning, your brother was like, or you were living with your dad in the beginning at first?
Yeah, I think
and then you decided to move with your mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mama's boy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I think I had to stay with my dad. I think it was some type of custody thing because of the drug issue she had. So I think my dad had custody and I was like, wanted to stay with my mom. I think it was legal what I did. Like, so my mom used to take me My dad let me go with my mom.
Oh, yeah. He
'Cause I
has
was so
custody
much-
of her, but he's allowed to let you do whatever. Yeah.
He let me go over there, so I stayed with her a couple of times. I mean, I stayed with her majority of my childhood.
Yeah, and then you moved back over, and that was like your senior year of high school, kind of, right?
My senior year I moved with my dad.
Yeah, and your dad,
And he was sick.
Yeah. So he was on dialysis.
Almost half of his whole
And what
life.
was that, or what caused
Kidney issue.
Kidney
he had
issue?
kidney issues. Man, hell of shit. I remember I was in middle school when they amputated his leg, and then they start cutting his fingers off. So slowly but surely he started.
Yeah, I don't. So dialysis, it's like you have a liver issue, right? Or
Yeah, he was on dialysis because he had kidney transplant. Like people was trying to give him kidneys, one failed, but he had kidney issues. And when I was staying with him, I used to wake up at like 4:00 in the morning just to get him ready for dialysis, put him in his wheelchair, and like get him dress him, get him ready to go. And
And you said he was always at your games too, right?
Yeah, he showed up to my games even in his wheelchair. Like he was real supportive when he could. Like unfortunately, sometimes he was either in the hospital or he couldn't. In pain, but he loved the way I played sports. He was supportive.
And then, so how was that when you moved back in your senior year? Because like you're saying, you wish you had more time with him. Was it just kind of rebuilding that relationship, or was kind of just it went just to instantly
rebuild everything? He taught me. I love paying bills right now because he taught me, like, you gotta take care of your responsibility.
Yeah,
man. And right now I pay all the bills. I don't care if for my girl, I step up to the plate because my dad taught me that.
Yeah,
he taught me a lot.
Well, yeah. What's something that you think that's like stuck with you like throughout?
This handle your responsibilities.
Yeah, that's
why when I have a kid, I'm be in his life because my dad was in my life, and I see what the effect.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't have their dad in their life, and I see how they act like they hurt over that. Like, I didn't know people really need their dad in their life like that. But
it's just that father figure, and if it's not your dad, it's just that male figure. Because I think a lot of people do find that in different people, like whether it's teacher or whatever it may be, But like I do think that's big.
It's different when your dad is alive and he's not, and that person know their dad is alive and they still not in their life. That's tough because I know a couple of people who dad is like alive, but they don't fuck with their kids.
Yeah,
and the kids they grow to be like,
it's a sick cycle basically of it's, and it's weird because it's weird that people choose to deal with things that way, because it's like don't you see that it's like the same thing that you dealt with? Like the reason that you feel whatever the way you feel, and then like they're just doing it to their own kids or something. It just doesn't make sense to me.
They don't.
Yeah. And then while we're on the subject of your dad, let's talk about the electric, is it called Boogaloos?
Electric Boogaloos.
Boogaloo's, yeah.
They famous.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So kind of talk about...
You started off with the original ones.
Yeah. So kind of talk about what that was. I mean, I just feel like he said he would always tell you stories about it. He used to tell me
stories how they used to travel.
Let's talk about a story about it.
Travel, like they was even on the Soul Train before. What stopped him from going is he got sicker, but still to this day, Boogaloo, I think it's Pete. One of them, they follow me on Instagram, and I call him Unc. So
really?
He got a blue check mark. Because he a Boogaloo, and then the other they big, especially like in China. So
and they're like a dance crew. Is that what they
were?
A
dance crew, like they like pop locking and And my dad was, before he died, it was some documentary people coming over to his house, and they was talking to him about the moonwalk, because one of the people in that group created the moonwalk, and Michael Jackson had scouts come over and like, I promise you not, like if that Boogaloo, sick. They made a movie about the Boogaloos.
Yeah. So did you ever watch that documentary then? Or
about no? They didn't follow through.
Oh, really?
I don't know why, but they was coming, like a bunch of people came over and was interviewing my dad, and I was like, "What they doing?" He was like, "They were talking about when I used to dance and
that's
how
cool.
Michael Jackson got the moonwalk from us."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "That's crazy."
Well, it's crazy because probably all your life you hear about these stories, but you're also like, I don't know, Dad. Like, you know what I mean?
I was so young, like,
yeah.
When he's telling me he's dancing, I'm like, you didn't dance. You going like, I couldn't see it because I know him for him being
wheelchair and stuff.
Wheelchair, so but when people be like, your dad was real good. Like
that's cool, and it's kind of cool. Like at the end, or like then when they're coming over, you're like, man, my old man was right.
He was.
Like I guess he wasn't making that up.
And then they had sent me a video. I had posted it on my page because I got a lot of followers, and a lot of people was like, "Your dad is a legend." Ooh, like people from different countries. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's pretty crazy.
I just wish he was alive. Like when he died, he didn't be able to see me prosper. So like,
Yeah, like
I was barely getting started, but now like, I think he'll be proud.
No, I definitely think so. And then, so you talked about one of the stories is basically he just ended up starting to bleed somehow through his arm.
That was crazy.
Yeah, so kind of
that was the year
story.
He passed, I think. He used to have like patches because dialysis they patch him up and he like under that patch it'd be like a big old thing and it'd be bleeding. But one day, I guess I was in the room playing the game and he called my name. I ran out there and it was blood skirting out like hella. I had to put pressure on it. It was bleeding through the towel. I'm like, oh man. He's like, we called 911 and they took so long to come.
And so there's
So
like
long.
patches, like so it's just like kind of like their skin's like having a hard time healing, so they just put a patch on it.
I don't
or
know what it was.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was.
because like you were like, even on the book, it kind of just like you didn't know what was going on either. It just started.
And I tried to like, and then it took them like almost an hour to come. I thought he was gonna die. He lost so much blood. And then they came. I was mad. Like, man, it took y'all so long to come.
Yeah.
And then like when you call them, when they ask the questions, that's another 15 minutes. So when we got the phone, they took another hour to come. Like, bro, if we was in the suburbs, y'all would have been here.
Yeah. You're like just thinking it's like not.
I thought he was gonna die right there.
Damn.
That would have been another.
And then he ended up dying later passing away later that year.
Yeah.
And you were so used to him in and out of the hospital all your life, right? And so you just kind of were like,
he gonna bounce back.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I got the call. My auntie was like, no, I think the day before I went to the hospital, I think they knew he was dying, so they told me to go check on him and go visit him. And I was looking at him, and he couldn't talk. He was just looking at me, and then I said a prayer for him, left, and then that's when my auntie called the next day, say he died. But luckily, I got to like
at least be there with him that last little moment and just have your time with him.
Yeah, see stuff like that. I'm seeing Marquise, and it's hard, but looking back on it, like it made me who I am today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I think that like your story is one of those that it's like, man, like I almost can't believe like all the stuff that happened to you, and that's why you're saying like my life's like a movie. Like I didn't like it just seems like some stuff.
I need to get
you got to get a deal, man.
A crew together so I could react that whole movie against all odds.
Dude,
Amazon deal or Netflix.
Just talk about
Amazon
it.
or
Yeah.
Netflix. And put it on there.
Dude, even just make a little. Because sometimes all you have to do is make like a 3-minute version of it. You just show them like, hey, this is like the idea I have, basically. Or like, what is it's like a I don't know. It's like a.
Because I could afford like to pay the actors that I want to put in there now. Like I just wanted to get out there.
Yeah, I know, and and like you're saying, like, and it's basically like just a documentary form of it, basically, and like your trials and tribulations. And then the next chapter, after your dad passed away, it was you meeting. So you had 2 blood brothers that you never met before, right?
Right, they was in a foster home. They younger than me, but they twins, right? They twins, 2 twin brothers. They Jawan and Jonelle. I remember when I was younger, when my mom, we used to go to a place to visit them. And I had a picture with him. And then I was like 4 or 5. And then after that, that's the last time I seen him.
Really?
And then it wasn't until, what year was that? 2019 or 20. My niece called me. He's like, we found the twins. I'm like, you lying. And there's like, he just wrote me on Facebook. So I wrote him and was like, is it true? He was like, yeah. So we met up with him. He wanted, one of the brothers didn't want to meet my mom because I guess the foster parents was feeding stuff in his head saying that my mom threw him away.
Yeah,
Which wasn't true. I was telling him like, bro, she was on drugs. Like she could have lost me if it wasn't for my dad. Like only reason why y'all was in the foster home because y'all dad probably was on drugs or something too.
Yeah.
I got a sister that was in a foster home too, but y'all just got I couldn't explain it. I was a kid. I don't know why y'all had to go.
Yeah. I don't know why you didn't like.
It didn't fit. It didn't sit too well with him. So
you said one of them, right?
He didn't come. He didn't come see my mom. He still haven't seen her. And the other one, he seen her and he was coming around more after that. But his girlfriend, he got a girlfriend, and his girlfriend kind of don't like the family or something like that. So he don't come.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because it's just
it
like
sucked. But at least I met him.
Yeah, at least
they don't come around like that. Like,
yeah, and
plus,
their
family was more in from Kingsburg,
and they were raised to whatever. Yeah, you said they changed their names, right? To like you're like
Emmett and
Emmett Quinton or something like that?
Emmett Brooks. Emmett and what's the fucking other one name?
Wasn't Q some Q? What? You said like you're like I don't know. What you didn't say you're like you're like they gave them their white names or something like that in the book.
And Seth.
Seth, yeah. It was. I was like Quentin. I was like I know it's a fucking white ass
Emmett
name.
and Seth Brooks. Man, they loved, but that's good though. They got people. They loved them.
Yeah,
they loved
you know what
family.
I mean. And the thing is like maybe like
my other brother was even staying with me for a while, and I'm grateful for that. He was staying with me for like 6 months in my apartment, and we built the bond.
Yeah,
Shit
that's
happens.
Cool. Yeah, it is, and like
I'm happy I met him.
Yeah, exactly.
Something I always wanted to do. Like
the
when I first started writing my book, I didn't have no ties with him. I didn't know where he was at.
Writing your book, like what, like because it was probably just
I started probably like 2017.
And then it took you about
in my notes. It was all in my notes. Your iPhone notes. It start off like
that's how I have
just in case.
Got all these questions for you in my notes right now.
Yeah.
yeah. But and so you just started writing on your notes, and then when did you publish it? When did it come out?
Last year.
2020.
Yeah, last year, 2020.
And was that through the pandemic and stuff, or
that's crazy? You said pandemic because once I released it, I had COVID.
Really?
I was fucked up, but my book was released, so I had to promote it on Instagram. Tell my friends like it's out, but I had COVID on it.
Really? And so you were working on it then before COVID, then, huh? Or
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously before, but I mean, like what went out? When in 2020 did it come out? Was it like beginning of the year, or is it like
Was it September?
Like, did COVID kind of help you, and not help you, but help you kind of get like, well, I don't got nothing to do right now. Let me focus on. This book out,
before that, I had actually met a girl named Mia through the Axe campaign I told you about.
Yeah.
She was working on that, and then we built a bond. Till this day, I call her sis. She called me little bro, but she was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "I want to write a book about my life." And she said, "Well, I got some people I can help you out," and she really did.
Really,
so,
that's cool.
To this day, we still connected, and she helped me like find the editor, and the editor helped me like put it on Amazon, and
that's cool.
So now if I write a book right now, I know how to do everything.
Yeah,
exactly. The only thing I do is get the editor. Like I could put it on Amazon, do everything by myself.
And then you talked about, I think, like how your family members, right, kind of were like pushing you to finish the book or something like that. I think in your like acknowledgments, you're like saying something like maybe about your. I thought it was something about your family members like helping you or like pushing you to continue writing the book or something like that.
My mom.
I mean, your mom. Okay,
was
gotcha.
One of the main ones continue like pushing me. Like I came to her about it. Like I before I write this book, Mom. Like I'm going to talk about you in the book. She's like, you can tell me anything. Like I'm an open book too. Like,
are you and your mom's relationships good still?
Yeah, she still stay in Fresno. We good.
Good. That's good.
I be have to help her out sometime.
And then you talk about in this blessings chapter about it's kind of like a reflection of like the whole book almost, just like what you can draw from things and what you can be thankful for. That's what I kind of took that chapter as. And then you talk about that's when you found meditation. And we talked about it earlier, but what did meditation kind of like allow you to do? Just process things?
Process things, like slow things down, focus on positive things. Like whenever like I'm feeling negative vibes or energy, I just go in there and, cut on some. I'll go on YouTube and type in meditation music or whatever and put that on, close my eyes and just breathe, focus on breathing. And like I said, visualize, the things I want in life, positive things. I don't know. Meditation is powerful. It's hard for me to explain like how I go.
Well, I think it's hard to explain because everybody.
I don't sit down and do, I could be in a chair and just like, quiet. It got to be quiet.
Yeah, you just got to take some time. Yeah, I wasn't meditating for a while.
Feel better.
Yeah, like I had that app Headspace for a while.
Headspace, is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just like, there's a free trial of 10 episodes and you can I think you can pick, it's 5, 10, or 15 minutes. And it basically just gets you to calm down. Like it gets you to like, it's leading you into it, but it's doing it in a way where it's kind of teaching you like, hey, like, now that like it'll be like notice your mind's drifting right now. Bring it back to the center and start just focusing on.
You said it's called Headspace?
Yeah, Headspace. It's pretty good.
I'm about to get that.
Yeah, dude, check it
I
out.
know LeBron James had one too. I was gonna check his out too.
There's Headspace and there's also one called Awake.
Awake.
They're both honestly. I think they're both little different styles, but they're both really cool and both have free trials. So just check them both out, whatever one you like. Yeah. I definitely recommend.
I was meditating before I came up here.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Only had like for like 10 minutes, but sometimes that shit help.
Gotta put some good energy out, huh?
I go in feeling sluggish, come out feeling like a whole new person.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's real cool.
I love it.
And then this chapter, you also talked about you finally found your why, like your why of living. And I think that's more than anything in this book, that's something that everybody can relate to. Everyone's kind of searching for what the purpose is, and why they're living and what you can do. And you said, like, basically when you posted that first video, you realized how many people you can make happy, basically, right?
Even if I'm feeling fucked up, if I could make a skit right now, it's been times I've been feeling depressed, but I'm like, I still got people to help. I got to put on my cape and I make my video, put it out. And if you just read the comments on Facebook, like, that's why I love my fans. Like, people be like, thank you so much. Mm-hmm. The messages be like, you saved me from, my dad just died. I'm in a dark place. Your videos, I haven't smiled in a week. Like, stuff like that is better. That's better than a deposit to me. Just seeing that.
Yeah.
Because I know how I feel to be in a dark place and depressed. And that's why I started making videos. Because when I was in a dark place, I seen skits on Vine or whatever. I'm like, I could do that. Mm-hmm. That made me laugh, and I was like, I want to start doing that. So I could just imagine how I'm making people feel. And I don't even talk in my videos, so that's powerful.
Most of them, huh? Yeah, almost
that's powerful.
None of them, huh?
I'm with the Earl, in the Earl, when I say some shit with Earl, like if he talking. But, yeah.
That's cool, too. It's kind of, you found and then you said you're not, you're a content creator, social media comedian, kind of
influencer, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like a new day and age thing. So it's like, you're like, I do a lot of things. Yeah. I don't know how to explain really what I do. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even consider myself a comedian, because there's been times people like, oh, we want to pay you to come do stand up. No, I'm not doing that.
Stand-up's a whole fucking different
Hell
thing,
yeah,
bro. I always think, like, I weirdly always like randomly think like, oh, that'd be a good stand-up comedian bit. Yeah. But then it's like, you can't just go on stage and do it. You gotta like be doing that shit every night or multiple repeated times.
Now, if you tell me, I can act, I'd rather act and be funny or even serious. But stand up, that's a whole.
Because I could see like on your YouTube channel doing like what we talked about, but just like longer versions of your videos, just easy, skits. Though. Yeah. Especially with your characters that you're already like developing and stuff.
Right.
And then in Blessings, you talk about Job, and it's one of your favorite books in the Bible.
Yes, sir.
And then you talked to also, I don't know what chapter it was, but it was Marquise's chapter what did you call him? Keys? Is it what do you call
Queese?
Queese. Okay, And you're talking about how at that time, like, you really dove into reading the Bible, right? Yeah. And so what kind of drew you to, what do you feel drew you to that?
I was soul searching. Like, that's when Marquise died, and I was like, man, I don't know. At first, part of me felt like I was going crazy, but I think it was God just drawing, like, I was getting closer to him, and I opened up the Bible. Didn't know how to read it because it was like thou, shall.
Yeah, exactly what we were talking about earlier.
I don't know how I kept reading it though. I kept reading it in some YouTube videos that used to pop up, and man, I read Job and I really fell in love. That's when I really started reading the Bible, because his story is so relatable.
Talk about his story a little bit for those people.
Job, the devil came to God, was like, your servant Job, like, let me tempt him, basically. And God was like, God gave the devil the right, like, go ahead, like, I know he's not gonna,
Yeah.
And the devil tempted him, and Job lost everything, his kids, I guess, all his
belongings
or whatever. And he never, like, he still was a man of God. And long story short, in the end, God blessed him 10 times more than what he had. So that just go to show, like, around that time, how I lost Marquise, I was losing everything, and I still was like, I believe in God. Like I told you, like, when I lost my sister, like, that was the first time I prayed, but I still was like trying to, like, God, like, show me you real, like.
Yeah. And dude, what the thing about Marquise's story is that's like that I couldn't get over is just that
I think
quote.
About that every day, bro.
Just the quote that God's gonna bless me. Like, that shit's wild. You like, he literally said God's gonna bless me, and then you're like, and then an hour later it's just
he died. So maybe that was his blessing. God's coming to get him.
For whatever reason. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they just like you're saying, and like. Yeah. But it's kind of, I mean, it's inspiring that, like, it kind of, instead of drawing you away, because that could easily draw anybody to be like, fuck yeah. Yeah, fuck
game bang. All my friends game, I could easily say fuck life. I don't know how I'm here right now, like, with you, instead of in the streets. But
for a reason, you know what I mean?
I'm really like God is using me. Cause I don't know how I'm here, bro. That's thinking about it. God is good.
Yeah, I agree. And then basically last chapter is like against all odds, and that's kind of like, how did you come up with the name? I mean, obviously, like I kind of get it.
Yeah,
I get it. You don't really have to explain it, but just like, did it just come to you?
At first, I had different ones, but
you remember any of the other names that you had?
I really don't.
No worries.
But against all odds, really, like, man, I had to. I'm still going against the odds against me sometimes, but you got to overcome. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, growing up in inner city, the odds, like, you got to go against the odds to become, anybody, not just African Americans, but man, the title alone, against all odds, like you the things I had to go against could have easily detoured you to go. Yeah, exactly. It made you go the wrong way or make the wrong decisions. I'm still here against all odds.
Yeah. So. Dude, yeah. And I just appreciate you telling your story because, like, I think that, you couldn't be more opposite on social media than the book in the sense of, obviously, you're a comedian or, you know what I mean, you're funny. Like, all your videos are funny. And this book was obviously, like, kind of like, this is where I came from.
I don't even promote it that much like I should. But I'm Amazon every month, like, they send a check and I'll be like, damn, they still buying it. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good book. I wish I would have bought I ended up reading it on Monday. I think I read the whole thing just Monday. I just sat down because I'd rather have it be fresh. Yeah. But originally I had ordered it the week prior, but then Amazon for some reason.
You can have this one, bro.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that. Yeah. My Amazon the week prior, it was like one of those things where I ordered it and then Amazon for some reason skipped out or something like that, and it was just like now it's being shipped or whatever, and I was like, okay, I gotta get this now. I was like, I almost hit you up like, hey, can I do you have one I could buy? You know what I mean? But then I was like,
it, bro.
Cool, thank you, man. I'll have you sign it afterwards.
Oh yeah,
bro.
yeah.
And then so nowadays, you're thinking about writing a second book, you said, right?
Yeah.
And kind of similar or like about trials and errors or trials and tribulations or a little different.
Probably dig more about mental health and probably talk about like, everybody want to like make money on social media, but they don't know what comes with it. Money don't, like, I want to talk about how the money don't heal my pain that I wanted, like how I thought it would. Like, I don't know, I still got time to think about it, but
but you just
that.
slowly. So basically just relating, what happened with you, and then and what you've learned from it, basically, again, huh?
Obviously, I want to like get a little bit more bigger before I write another one, so I could like have more stuff to talk about.
Do you have any like growth plans for like that's kind of was like for like 2022, like going into it, like any like do you ever think about numbers wise, or do you just think like
as far as like, number wise,
whether followers, views, anything like that?
I want to hit for Instagram. I want to at least 2,000 before next year end. I want to have. Like at least 700 or 5-6.
Double it pretty much? Yeah.
I want to get close to 1 million. Instagram, that's my only purpose, getting to 1 million. Or blue check mark, because when you get a blue check mark, it opens up.
Naturally opens up stuff.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah, that's cool.
And people be telling me like I should have one. Like,
yeah, I wonder there's always those people that comment, or they're like scams, but it's like, get your blue check mark here.
No, never. I would never. Like, yeah. Somebody wrote me today, hey, you want a blue check mark?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
yeah. You're like, I just want you guys to give it to me. Yeah, exactly.
I just want Instagram to give it to me. I want to work for it. I don't want to buy it.
Yeah, well, I guess it just legitimizes you, kind of. That's like what it does, right?
Yeah, like pretty much.
It's like, hey, this is the one and only, basically, kind of. And then, so you have any? Just working on, or what are you doing? Like besides videos, and stuff. What do you do in your free time, your spare time? Or like, what are your hobbies? I guess reading. You work out or anything?
I jog sometimes in my neighborhood when I'm not, but I be so caught up in, I make so many videos a day. That's my whole, like, and then when I'm done making videos, I probably have to do stuff with my girlfriend and then like.
Yeah, that's like me. Like if I come here to like work during the day or something.
I tell myself I need a break. Like I go to Vegas, like just now with the Vegas for a vacation, but I still call myself making videos.
Well, because then you're like in a different scenario and you
Yeah.
could do different things.
Different
And
things,
so
so,
it's like, well, when I travel, why wouldn't I
No
put
days
them
off.
in those different situations? Did Earl go to Vegas or no?
Yeah, I made a Vegas video.
Okay,
Earl.
gotcha.
I'm gonna do another one for New Year's. I gotta take
going back to Vegas or
that.
what?
Yeah, for New Year's. I
Okay.
gotta take that wig with me everywhere I go. I realize that because I'll be going places like
I think, oh, fuck, I should have had it, huh?
Yeah,
Just
like
have it
that'd
back
be
of your car,
perfect.
huh?
Yeah.
Or is it in your bag?
in my back pocket.
And did you just get that wig like off Amazon?
Yeah, off Amazon. I
And
gotta
who
get
would have
another-
thought, huh?
Yeah, Earl got his own page.
Oh, Earl does have his own page
Yeah.
too? I didn't know that.
And
And
that
so you were
page
kind of,
generated
and so
income.
when you make videos, do you try to make one every day or multiple every day, or what's your kind of game plan there?
If I'm not doing nothing at all, if I'm not busy, I'll make 2 to 3 a day. So that next day I could just post, and then when I'm down to my last video that day,
You'll kind of work on more stuff?
work on more stuff. Or when I'm going on vacation, I'll make as much videos as I can. Like for New Year's, I'm going to Vegas on the 30th. I'm going to Vegas on the 30th. I'm probably gonna make hella videos
Just so you can
this
post
whole
over
week.
there.
Yeah, so when I go out there, I won't be, I gotta start the new year off strong.
Yeah. And then, hey, start with some
Yeah.
Earl in Vegas again, huh?
That's what I do in my free time though, meditating, and like I gotta sit there and tell myself what can I do to get more creative. So that
Dude, and like even surrounding yourself with different people that
Yeah.
allow you to do that. And that's the thing too. Like,
it's hard finding that. Like now, like I see you guys have a studio and everybody
yeah,
got
dude,
an
yeah,
idea.
if you ever want to come through.
Like we can make a
and-
video right now, like Earl get interviewed on the radio.
Yeah,
This like
dude,
a little,
hey.
or something like that.
Yeah.
If I come out with an idea, I'm definitely coming. I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah, no, dude.
You guys
'cause-
got a good space here.
Yeah, dude, seriously, hit us up anytime. We're always here working on stuff. And the whole thing is just like, we want this.
You would be cool hopping in the skit.
Yeah, dude.
See,
Trust me.
we could turn this like into an office. You could interview Earl for like a
Dude,
job. interview.
exactly. It'd be funny. It'd
Bring
be,
his resume in. Like what
yeah,
the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, there we go.
I've been wanting to do that for a while.
No, dude, and we got light, and it's funny because it's like when we got this place, it's like 500 square feet, so that feels like it's pretty small. But like the fact that there's 3 different rooms in it makes it feel like okay. And like it's funny because we do camera stuff, so it's like if we put like the camera this way, you're in a whole different room. If you put it that way, it looks like you're in a different room because of the red curtain. If you put it out there this way, it looks, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
one of those things where like growing up or like when I was first getting into photography and cameras and stuff, it's like I'm watching all these videos and it looks like all these people have all these setups and
Right.
have all these offices. And now that I have this place, I realize that, oh no, they just
This
have
is all like for the video I was telling you about.
Uh-huh.
I'm serious. Like we're gonna come in here and you're gonna
Dude.
interview Earl for a job,
Dude.
and he gonna fuck it up like always.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
He's gonna come in high, late.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna get a
Even
suit.
like even doing it, like or like bring some like powder or stuff, like do
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
while I'm interviewing him. You know what I mean?
That'd be perfect.
Yeah,
So,
just stuff like that.
Yeah.
and that's like the group of guys that I have this with. So Jimmy and then my other buddy Duffy, who like makes a lot of music. It just like we all like kind of found each other just because like me and Jimmy have been doing stuff ever since that Dream Job video. But then like we all kind of like when Duffy's maybe slacking or if I'm slacking or somebody, like we kind of all are all accountable on each other and you push each other. And I think that's like what you
got a team.
yeah, exactly. And so me and Jimmy mainly do like photography, videography, a lot more video stuff, honestly, and which I mean goes in line perfectly with what you do.
So that's good because when we make our video or whatever, one of them could record it for us.
Yeah, exactly, and and so then you started getting into editing. You said you used Premiere Pro.
Yeah, I actually went to school for like a couple of years, Full Sail University for digital cinematography.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had dropped out though because that's when my video stuff started to pick up, so I didn't have time to do both. So I was like, video.
But that's cool though.
But
And
I learned a lot. I
I
learned a lot. Yeah,
And so where was that? Was that online or was
it was
that school?
online, but it was located in Florida.
Oh, okay.
I could have
gotcha.
went there, but I'm like, well, I could stay here and do it.
Yeah.
And stay
Well,
home.
and yeah.
Plus, I didn't have money.
Mhm. Well, and Central Valley too is like, I mean, it's cheaper living. Obviously, it's getting more expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, California.
But yeah, California in general. But people always talk crap about California, and I'm
love
like,
it. I don't wanna leave.
I don't like. I love this area. Like, and that's the thing too with this podcast. It's like a lot of people like growing up in Fresno. I'm sure everyone talks shit about the area. Growing up
Hell
in
yeah.
Merced, and it doesn't matter where in the Central Valley. Always growing up, people do,
Right.
and it's like. Growing up, you kind of fall into that same like mentality of it. But then recently, like basically since the a couple years before the pandemic, Merced really started trying to revamp downtown. But like since the pandemic and like El Capitan, have you been to El Capitan, the hotel? It has like a little cafe, so you could go have coffee in there. And then they also
probably have, because me and my girl do DoorDash on when we bored.
I gotcha. And then they also have like a courtyard in there where you can have drinks and they have the appetizers and stuff. But it's just like you go there and you're like, oh shit, like I feel like I'm in the Bay Area, honestly. And they just redid it. So like
y'all redoing y'all mall too, huh?
I mean, the mall's been getting redone for 5 years now. So
that picture that they got displayed, I don't see it coming like that at all. Like
I'm like, wait, what is this? Is this a 2-story mall? How are you guys gonna do that? Yeah. Like you're just gonna build on top of this one right now? Yeah. Dude, that's funny you say that because my wife came on the podcast and she was like, the Merced Mall shows you that you never give up on yourself. You can always keep trying because they've been freaking trying to redo it for 5 years.
I didn't know they was doing it that long. I thought that was new.
Sears has been getting redone like 4 years ago.
Fuck, what's wrong?
I don't know. Maybe lack of money, but I'm like, come on, the UC's here. Like, you guys need the mall. Like, I'm sure the UC's.
So Fresno have more money than Merced?
I don't know. I think that because right now downtown is like, have you been downtown Merced really at all? Yeah, like that's all revamped. Like it's all pretty new, and so I think the money must have gone there a little more.
I kind of think like they got the Bulldogs, then they got the Save Mart Center. They got a lot.
And they have a lot of revenue. There's a lot more revenue in Fresno, and Fresno's like I don't know how many people live there, but it's like over 1 million in Fresno County.
Yeah. Then they got Clovis, the Clovis area.
If Clovis and Fresno are the same thing. I mean, basically, so you know what I mean.
Clovis
like,
got a lot of money.
And Clovis is the rich.
If I move back to Fresno, I'm going to Clovis.
And so, what made you kind of like just end up? How'd you end up in Merced?
LA too expensive.
So you were in LA for a little bit?
No, that's where I wanted to go. But that's probably where I'm going to end up going. LA or Atlanta. Merced, you guys got some nice houses out here too.
Yeah. Well, I like the area. It's kind of. It's a little. It's not the big city like Fresno. You know what I mean?
And that's the reason why too. Like,
it's kind of like it's small. It's small, but it's like becoming like a nice area.
Right.
And I don't know. I just love the area of it, and that's why I ended up putting on for it so much. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that people in like Fresno, like you're saying, like with podcasts and stuff, don't reach out to you and stuff.
Haven't been on one. Like I think it's a couple podcasts, but I'm not tripping.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, just because,
but if I get bigger and it's gonna be too late. Like, And when I was willing to, like, that's crazy. When I got to go all the way to a whole nother city and they already like fucking with me.
Yeah, exactly.
My own city wasn't.
And
I don't know if it's a hate thing or what. Like, but I'm trying to like help.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. When you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna repost, blah blah. Like that's like, and some people like, they come on and maybe that's not their attitude towards it. I mean, they're okay with being on, but they're like. Some people, I don't know how to explain it, but like me and my buddy Jimmy talk about it. Like sometimes, like if you are doing a craft and someone else is doing the craft, they almost don't want you to be better than them at the craft.
That's what I was thinking too.
And they have that. It's that thing where it's like they don't want you to be better, but like all of us, like we're always just like, hey, I want you to be. It's
called crabs in the barrel. That's what it's called.
Oh, because they're all grabbing each other to bring them down, right?
Bring them down, yeah. That's what they doing out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, I have.
I don't got that mindset because I feel like if you help somebody, you gonna get blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. And whatever you put out into the world is gonna come back at you.
It's like it don't even bother me. I think about it sometimes. Like, damn, Fresno. That's fucked up.
Come on, Fresno.
Yeah, come on.
What is 559? Is that Fresno area code? Yeah, and I always forget that they're different than because I'm like 209 or so. 209's from like Merced to Stockton, pretty much, and all the way to Tracy. So it's like a big area. But I always like forget that Fresno's like a different area code. But it's a whole different beast in itself, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it is.
That's like 5 or 10 of Merceds, like you know what I mean, like combined into one. Like I'm like I don't know.
Them houses in Atlanta be big and cheap.
Dude, houses in other states though too. Like if you were to move to Idaho or something like that.
Nevada got some good.
Oh, Nevada does too.
They starting to get expensive out here too though.
Nevada and the suburbs, like outside or the suburbs of Vegas, are actually like compared to California, they're really cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think that's where Mozzie moved. Like a lot of rappers moved to Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame them because they're already by their shows. They don't have to travel to them. You know what I mean? Just it's like how I always feel bad though if the people in Vegas who are like doing they're there 5 days a week doing shows. I'm like, you can't be happy. Like I know that like maybe you are, but like Carrot Top, you know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. Like,
did you Juice WRLD?
Yeah.
Did you see that documentary?
I didn't see the documentary, no.
Oh my God.
It talks about like his whole story or what?
I guess they was recording him like everywhere they go, like the last days before he died. Man, bro, he was doing so much drugs.
And then he got freaked out that they were gonna charge him for like having guns on the jet or something like that.
That's when he died.
And he just took like a stupid amount of Xans or something like that, right?
I believe
like 8 or something like that.
I think so, but on the show, he had like 5 Percocets in his mouth and like.
I mean, you're already dabbling with death at that point. You know what I mean?
Girl was on there snorting powder. I'm like, wow. You never know what people going through.
Ups and you're doing an upper and a downer. You know what I mean? That's freaking polar opposites.
But he was a real life. He was living life like a rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was only 19. He was real young.
Dude, a lot of it's kind of weird because I have a nephew who's, I think he's 12. And like, so he's like, listening to like Juice WRLD, and whoever else. But their whole generation, their whole generation like weirdly just listens to like dead rappers. It's like that's who's popular. Right. And then I'm like, hey, you ever listen to Mac Miller? I asked my like nephew because I love Mac Miller.
Mac Miller, man.
He's just
another one that
dude. So sad that I was so sad when he passed away. Just because like he really grew with his music. Like if you actually listen to his albums, like his last like not the 2 that came out since he passed away, but the 2 prior to that, Swimming and then Divine Feminine, and those 2 are like really, really great albums. And it's just like he talks about everything that he's going through. And
same
you know
thing
what I mean?
with Juice WRLD. Like if you really listen to them, they low key calling out for help.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of people like that. Like a Linkin Park lead singer. It's like you remember Chester, the Linkin Park lead singer, ended up committing suicide a couple years back. But he it was like if you listen to any of Linkin Park songs, every single one sounds like he's calling out for help, like every single song. And so it's just kind of wild, like when you look back at it, like you're like, damn.
That's why they need to go talk to somebody because that's mental health issues right there.
Yeah. And then I think it's cool that you're like open because you're talking about like I need to go talk to a therapist or something like that. Just because like I think that they just have a stigma that like something's wrong with you if you go talk to somebody or and it's like no, like we all need someone to talk to. Some people are just open with people and they can talk to anybody. Other people are reserved and they don't want to talk with their family and friends about whatever they're dealing. Yeah,
sometimes, but this is my therapy right here, talking to you,
dude. I've enjoyed this conversation too. It's like been really interesting, and it's like you're talking about the story that you had like in the book, but you're doing it in a way where it's like you're not, maybe you are reliving it, maybe you're just talking about it, but you, just like your book, you're reflecting on what you learned. And I think that's like, so many people can take like so much away from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was my purpose right there.
Yeah. And that's what it's cool too, like, cause you and Dallas talked about it too, but I just wanted to talk like, I had questions about like every chapter. I was like, I just want to talk about like in depth, you know what I mean? And it's cool that you're so open about it because sometimes you could write a book and then be like, no, that was my way of talking about it. You know what I mean? And I think, but you doing this kind of shows, the fact that you do have an audience, it shows them that like, hey, like you got to be open. Or
got to.
Yeah.
Don't hold it. Don't keep it bottled in.
Yeah, exactly.
I tried keeping stuff bottled in, but that
didn't work for you either.
Heck no.
Yeah,
don't work at all.
And then so you because you talked about like all your mental illness. So what you have like, as you said, it's anxiety, depression, PTSD, pretty much those 3.
And sometimes I don't like being around large crowds. That's crazy though, because man, I could be somewhere in Vegas just chilling or like Atlanta every time, and people run up to me, I'll be forgetting.
Really? Well, and especially in like Las Vegas, like you're a little more at the place where.
The funniest thing, bro, I was on Fremont, I think, and some girl ran up to me with her boyfriend. This dude was big as hell, and she was like, "Can you take a picture for me?" Gave it to her boyfriend. I'm like, "Fuck." Took it. He was mad too.
You're like, bro, I don't like I just make funny videos, man. I'm not trying to.
He was mad, bro. That's crazy.
Does it like kind of blow your mind, or like
jealousy?
Like you're saying, you forget, like when you walk places.
I'll be forgetting. Like I make videos today. Like, you that dude? I'm like, oh yeah.
So I substitute high school. That's also what I do. And so I'm a high school substitute teacher. And like some of the kids, like I've had on a couple of teachers that like I substitute for and stuff on my podcast. And then like slowly their students find out about it and they're like, they like come to class, they're like, podcast guy? I'm like, podcast guy. And like, it's just stuff like that.
How do they know?
Just because like I've had their teacher on, and so their teacher shared it with them and stuff. And then one of the classes though, I subbed like 20 times already this year, and like I just sub with them all the time. And then
do they ever say stuff like, "Put me on your podcast"?
Yeah, well they were like, "Oh, you should." They'd be like, "You should have Bankroll Hayden on your podcast." I was like, I don't think you guys know like my reach, but I appreciate you thinking that I can just go ahead and have anybody on. Yeah, exactly. And then because it was like at one point these two kids are talking about Joe Rogan and they're talking about podcasts and they're like both the TAs and they're talking about it like for 20 minutes in front of me. And normally I'm not gonna promote my podcast to like these kids, but like they're talking about it so much that I was like, "Hey, you guys, I got a podcast. If you guys want to check it out," and they're like, "No way!" And they're like looking at like my YouTube and they're like, "Oh, you got Mr. Beardsley on," which is like one of my best friends. But they're like, it's just so funny to me that like, and that whole class though, one of the classes found out that I did a podcast. They're like, "Oh, can we take pictures with you, man?" And I'm like, "Hey, let's just chill a little bit." Like, I was like, "This is you guys are more than welcome. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel." Like, that's like, but I have thought about like, what if I had a QR code with me, like, put on the board, and then be like, "Hey, if you guys want to check out my podcast, go ahead," YouTube. And then just get because
I need to get one of those. Is it hard to get those?
A QR code?
Yeah.
Oh no, dude, I can help you out, dude.
I need to get one.
Yeah, QR code's easy. Like, you can get it for free on Google, I think, but I ended up like I didn't know I did a free trial one, and then it was like you have to pay. But it was $60 for a full year. So I'm like, my business card actually has it. So like, so then I just give that to people.
Oh yeah.
And then they just scan that, and it takes you to like my link tree, and so you can find my.
You gotta teach me how to get one of these,
dude. I got you. Yeah.
Go straight to my pages.
Yeah, exactly. And there's those other ones that people have that's like their phone case, and it like you like hold it to and then it instantly pops up. But I feel like that's at least, this is like a little more like, at least like they can click on it and go to it. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't, oh yeah, man. Thanks, man. Put me on that.
Oh, of course. Well, Terrell, hey, I appreciate you being here. I had a great conversation with you. I think that a lot of people, could learn a lot and get a lot from this. So I just want to say thank you for sharing your story here on my podcast.
Once I hit 1 million followers or something like that, come back and celebrate.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. Definitely, man. So, hey, I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Of course. This is it. Real talk. What not?
Real talk. That's it.